Hi everyone, my name is MJ. I know this video is a lot different than what I'm used to posting, but it's something that I think is very important and I think will help others. I'm hoping it will help others. It's things that I wish I had known when I was going through it. I'm talking about Bell's palsy and type 2 diabetes, which actually one led to the other, to be honest, and I'll explain that. I lost my grandfather, my papa, and then 5 months later, I lost my daddy. It was so devastating. It was so stressful. It was so unexpected. And then shortly after, I woke up one morning and I thought I had a stroke, y'all. This whole left side of my face was completely paralyzed. I couldn't move anything. I couldn't close my eye. I'll insert a little quick short video where I was journaling during that time about the movement, what I was going through. So this is day 29, and this is how my mouth moves. My eyebrows, my eyes, but as you can see, there was no movement on the left side of my face. Like I could do like this. I couldn't feel anything. Like, you could take a pin and stick it in my face and nothing. It was just like dead. It was gone. And so I went to 7 different doctors. 2 were neurologists. They all told me the same thing. Stress. Stress caused this. What they tell me is there's a little nerve that comes around the back of your head, and there's a little hole under your ear that nerve goes through, and this nerve controls this side of your face. This nerve controls this side of your face. So when one of those nerves swells a little bit, then it blocks off all control for either side of your face that it's controlling. So this one had gotten swollen, I guess, somehow, and I couldn't move anything on this side of my face. It was so scary. So I called my daughter and she took me to Fast Pace because I was scared. I didn't know where to go. I was like, what do I do? What I thought I literally thought I was having a stroke. Well, they looked at me and diagnosed me with having Bell's palsy. I'd never heard of Bell's palsy. This was early 2018. They said all I can do is go home, rest. I'm probably going to feel fatigued because that's one of the symptoms, and it'll go away on its own. Okay, maybe it'll go away on its own because I can't live like this. I couldn't drink anything because it would drip out my mouth. It was so embarrassing. And I couldn't really chew anything on this side because I couldn't move this side. I couldn't shut this eye. So at night I had to tape it shut just to go to sleep because I couldn't leave my eye open all night. It would dry out. It was just so hard to go through. I can't explain it. So I saw 7 different doctors, 2 of which were neurologists, and they all told me the same thing: stress. I had been through so much stress. And how do you avoid stress? What do you do? The one thing I can tell you is don't worry about things. Try not to worry about things. I know it's easier said than done, but try not to worry about things because worrying about anything doesn't solve it. It doesn't solve any problems. It's just causing you problems, health problems. So I just stayed at home. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want anybody to see me. I thought I might scare people because I scared myself. So as you can see, it's still there. It's like this side of my face, my mouth doesn't want to see. I can smile, and you can see this side raises up a lot more than this side, but it's so much better. It was just, I can't explain it. I don't wish it on anyone, not even my worst enemy, which I don't think I have any enemies. I hope not anyway, but I don't wish it on anyone. And so I started watching YouTube videos of people with Bell's palsy trying to follow their journey to see what would help. Some people were saying like, oh, it goes away like in a week to 3 weeks. And theirs did because I watched their journey and I was like, wow, that's encouraging, you know. So I kept going on and on and on, and it was like months. Well, days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. And before I knew it, after the 7 doctor visits, I could see like little movements, but then again, I think it was my imagination because I wanted it so bad. I don't really think there were any movements at all. I watched like videos. Oh, some girls said take rice and put it in a sock and put it in the microwave and then heat it up and then lay on it and, and that will help. And I did that, y'all. I did everything. Somebody even said, lay on your back on your bed upside down and lay with your head hanging off the bed so that your head is upside down. And I did that. I would do that for like 30 minutes until I got a head rush. And I was like, all the blood's running into my head. I can't do this. It was just anything. I would try. I was so desperate. I would try anything. I didn't care what it was, but nothing worked. Nothing ever worked. Finally, I saw a video of a girl that said she went to a chiropractor. I've never been to a chiropractor. I don't have any health problems. I don't have any back problems, or I didn't before this anyway. So she said that she got electroacupuncture on her Bell's palsy side. I thought, why not? Give it a try. I went and she stuck needles like all on this side of my face, my forehead, my cheek, my chin, a few in the top of my head. And then she put this little, the only thing I can describe it as, it looks like little jumper cables for your car when you need a jump. And she would put those like on the pins, like maybe one here and one here. There were only two, and they would just kind of like shake. I mean, I could see them with my eye, but I couldn't feel them. And I did that. I think it was like 20 to 30 minutes that I was left in the room with that on. And of course, it didn't hurt because I couldn't feel anything on that side of my face. But on the way home, which was like a 45-minute drive, I started feeling little twitches, like where she had put those electro acupuncture pins. I started feeling a little like it would jump, and I was like, oh, I can feel something. Oh my gosh. This was like after 7 months of not feeling anything, I finally felt something. And I was so excited. I started crying. I'm going to cry now. But anyway, so I was so excited. And I got home, I started thinking about it. And I thought, that's like a tinge unit. It kind of reminded me of a tinge unit. Those things that they sell them at Walgreens at, it's like in the health aisle, and it's for muscles, or I guess sore muscles. I don't know. But it's a little thing that's like this. It's a little box, and you can put it on different modes, and it comes with these two little pads, or actually the pads were like this big, but I cut them down. And then I put one here, and then maybe the next time I put one here and one here. And I just did that. I would do that like maybe 4 or 5 times a day, and it would just like, just like, but different modes would make like different shocking sensations. It was just something that I just thought, look, I've got to try. What do I have to lose? Nothing. So I also got one of those brushes, those rotary brushes, the cleansing brushes. And I started just doing this on my face, this whole side of my face, all the time. I was just trying anything. I was so desperate. It seemed like it helped because I started getting movement back. I'm not completely the way I was before, but at least I can close my eyes. I can raise my eyebrows. This side of my face mostly moves. When I get tired, I notice it starts getting a little to where it doesn't want to move as much. So I'll do like this, or wake up, because they say the nerves are asleep. But I'll do that, and it seems like it helps a little bit when I do that. But I've just learned to accept it because some people never gain their movement back on that side of the face where they've had Bell's palsy. Some people gain it all back. I just thank God for what I did get back. And my granddaughter, who was born just a few months before this happened, she doesn't see me as that person with half of a face that's paralyzed. That was one thing that really bothered me. But to get to my type 2 diabetes story, while this was going on, like I said, I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to go anywhere. I would sit home and order Domino's, like those pasta bowls or pizzas or whatever. I would order those every day. And we didn't have DoorDash or anything in my town at that time. So Domino's was the only place that delivered. And they brought me the food. I would go to the door, get it. And that was what I ate because I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. And I will tell you, Bell's palsy, for some reason, somehow, it makes you just feel exhausted and drained all the time. I don't know the correlation between that and Bell's palsy, but it does. You just feel drained. That's the only way I can explain it. Sorry, my neighbor is mowing their yard. So between the time I started with the Bell's palsy, I was around 135, 140 pounds, and I'm 5'6", so that was pretty normal. But then 7 months later, when I finally started getting a little bit of twitching movement back in this cheek, and I started getting hope again, I was up to 202 pounds, which was way too much. And I was thirsty all the time. I just kept feeling like I had to drink, 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 drink. And I didn't know why. It was so weird. It was like, it wasn't normal, like, oh, I need a glass of water, or I need a glass of tea, or, I need this or that. No, I was constantly thirsty. So I called a friend of mine that I grew up with, and she's a nurse, and I told her, I'm so thirsty all the time, and I have to go to the bathroom all the time. I don't know. She told me to go get one of those glucose meters and to call her back after I got it. So I left and I went to Walgreens and I bought one, and the strips, and you have to prick your finger. And so I did that, and it kept saying, I did it like 3 or 4 times, and it kept saying error. And I was like, this is not working. And I called her and I said, Carmen, this is not working. It's not working. I don't know. I got to take it back. Maybe I got a bad one. And she was like, no. She said, you need to go to the emergency room right now. She said, and if you don't, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to drag you there myself. So I called my daughter again, and we went to the emergency room. I felt fine. I was just thirsty. I mean, I didn't feel like anything was wrong. I was just like, why am I so thirsty all the time? Why do I have to go to the bathroom every, like, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes? It was so strange. It was not normal. So I told them what was going on. They came in and they did some blood work. And then a little while later, I was just sitting there talking to my daughter. They came rushing in the room and they started surrounding me, and they started sticking an IV in my arm. They had this admittance paperwork and they were admitting me. And I was like, what's going on? What's going on? What's wrong? They looked at me and they said, your blood sugar is 840. I didn't know what that was because nobody in my family had ever been diabetic. I didn't know anybody that was diabetic, but my daughter's eyes got as big as saucers because she knew a lot more about diabetes than I did. Her grandfather and her grandmother on her daddy's side were both diabetic. And she said when theirs got up to like 300, they were very worried and concerned. And mine was 840. They said that I should have been in a diabetic coma or worse. Oh my gosh, that's so scary, but I didn't know. I did not know. They told me that they had never had anybody in there with their blood sugar at 840 before that was still walking around and talking and feeling nothing really. But anyway, they admitted me. And then when I finally got to go to my doctor, he said that I would be on insulin in a month. He put me on 2 meds, metformin and another medication. I think it's glimepiride or it's something like that. But anyway, it put me on those 2 medications. And I was like, I'm not going to be on insulin. I'm not, because I research things like crazy, y'all. I really do. Like, I will look anything up. If there's something I want to know about, I'm on it. So I found a doctor who said he could reverse type 2 diabetes and was actually in the same town as the chiropractor where I was getting my acupuncture done. So it was another 45-minute drive. Dr. Ken Berry. At the time, he had a clinic there. I don't think he does anymore. I'm not sure. I know he has a really big YouTube following right now, but I don't think he did at the time. But anyway, his name is Dr. Ken Berry, and I went to see him, and he asked me what I like to eat, and I told him, I grew up in the country, okay? I like eggs and bacon. He was like, okay, every day. Eat eggs and bacon every day. Stop the sodas, stop the bread, stop the pastas, stop the junk food, stop the fast food. And I was like, whoa, that sounds intense. But I did it because, what's more important, these little snack foods or my health? I don't want to be on insulin shots every day. I didn't want that. So I did. I ate eggs and bacon every day. Now, I did stop the sodas or the Cokes, but I did drink Coke Zeros, which now I wish I hadn't even have done that because I probably would have gotten better a lot sooner than I did. 2 weeks later, after doing this, of course, like I said, I'm not exercising, I'm not going to the gym because I still have the Bell's palsy and I don't want to see anybody or I don't want anybody to see me. So I'm sitting at home, but I'm eating eggs and bacon every day. Like I would make 4 thick slices of bacon and then I would fry 3 jumbo eggs in the bacon grease. He told me to avoid any seed oil, so only use like olive oil or bacon grease or lard. Well, I started thinking, my grandparents and even I grew up, everything was cooked in lard. And my grandfather, my great grandfather, he like 3 months being 101 and was still coherent when he passed away. And every day his food was cooked in lard. And I was like, my grandparents were the same way. They lived very long lives, like 80s and 90s. And everything they ate was cooked in lard. So it made complete sense to me. But I used the bacon grease because I had it, it was already from cooking the bacon. So I just fried my eggs in the bacon grease. Well, I ate that every day for a month. After the first 2 weeks, I was still checking my insulin, pricking my finger. And um, and I noticed that my blood sugar was going down to like 40, and which they say, try to keep it between 80 and I believe it was 100 or 110, but it was going down to 40, so it was low. It was too low. So I called my doctor and she said, cut your meds in half. So I did. I cut the 2 meds that I was taking twice a day in half, and it worked. My blood sugar was back to normal. 2 weeks later, I was still eating the same way, eggs and bacon every day, and it dropped again to the 40s. So I called her again and I'm like, look, it did it again. And she said, okay, just stop the meds. Don't take any more meds. I'm going to make you an appointment for tomorrow. Come in, we're going to do some blood work. I'm like, okay, great. So I went in the next day. We did the blood work and she put a rush on it because she was like, something's going on here. We're going to figure this out. And y'all, when I went in, I had lost 28 pounds in that 1 month of eating eggs and bacon. And I mean, I wasn't eating like little plates, I was eating platefuls to where I wasn't stuffed, but I was full. I was comfortably full. But, I was still dealing with the Bell's palsy and I was still staying at home, no exercise, but I lost 28 pounds. I was like, how? How? Well, of course, I know now, but at the time, it was just like, I was amazed. So my blood work came back and she called me and she said, your A1C was almost 8 the last time I checked it. She said, now it's 5.2. And I was like, what? Within a month? And she said, yeah. She said, I can't explain it. It's the food, y'all. I'm telling you, it's the food. It's the overly processed food. It's the drive-through fast food. It's the junk food. It's the sodas. It's all the stuff all the sugar, all the carbs, the stuff that we don't need. And when we eat this fast food, we're hungry like 2 hours later. When I would eat like 3 jumbo eggs and 4 thick slices of bacon, I would be full for like 12 hours easily. I didn't even I would forget to eat because I wasn't hungry, but my body had everything it needed. So I had reversed type 2 diabetes and I was no longer diabetic, no more meds. I also found out from Dr. Berry that I had non-alcoholic fatty liver, which I cured that 5 months from the time. So 4 months after I was no longer diabetic, I had cured the fatty liver disease. And it was all because of the way I ate. I just want to share that with everyone and let everyone know also because I've gotten some comments. You know how some people are. They're like, what happened to your face? Ooh. Or they'll say, like, did you fall on your face? No. I don't know. You know how some people can be. And so I've actually deleted those comments and blocked them because I'm trying to keep any negativity out of my life as much as possible. There's always going to be some that creeps in, but I just wanted to tell y'all my story, and I hope that helps anyone. If you have any questions or if you want to know anything about something that I may have missed, just ask below and I will answer you. I will help anybody I can in any way possible. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I need subscribers, y'all, I really do. And until next time, bye. Oh, I forgot. And until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and question everything.